The desert wind carried the kind of silence that made strong men uneasy. But for Tala, 7 feet of bone, muscle, and Apache pride, it was peace. The townsfolk whispered that she walked above the grass, her shadow stretching longer than the horse's tide. Outside the saloon, most men watched her with a mixture of awe and fear, because Tala carried herself like someone who needed nothing and certainly no one. Every suitor who had ever approached her left with bruised pride, some with bruised ribs. All failed, and Tala embraced it. No man alive can handle a woman my size, she'd tell the elders. Chin high, voice steady, and I'm just fine with that. But things began to shift the day a quiet cowboy rode into the red dust town. He wasn't large, wasn't loud, wasn't trying to prove anything. His hat brim hung low, hiding eyes that watched everything and judged nothing. People called him Jock's Calder, a ranch hand who never stayed long anywhere. Their shoulders brushed. Jock's didn't stumble back or stiffen. He just looked up, way up into her eyes, and tipped his hat as though greeting a sunrise. Tala paused. Men usually stepped aside for her. He didn't, but he also didn't challenge her. That made her eyes narrow with curiosity. In the evenings, Tala trained young warriors in spear throwing and endurance running. Jocks watched from afar, leaning on the fence, arms crossed, quietly learning the rhythm of her movements. He never interrupted, never tried to join in. He simply respected the space she commanded. One afternoon, a reckless rancher attempted to rope Tala like a wild mustang as a joke. It ended with him face down in the dirt, the rope firmly in her hands. The crowd laughed nervously. Jocks, he didn't laugh. He stepped forward, helped the rancher to his feet, and then met Tala's eyes in a way that asked silently, "You all right?" No fear, no mockery, just understanding. And for the first time in years, Tala felt something unexpected, curiosity turning warm. Later, Jocks approached her by the river, but he only said, "You move like someone who carries more than people see." Tala studied him. "Most men only talk about my size. I see the strength," Jocks replied, "but I also see the weight of having to be strong all the time." Nobody had ever said anything like that. That night, Tala couldn't sleep. The desert coyotes cried, the moon glowed pale, and Jax's words echoed louder than drums. She'd built a life believing no man could walk beside her without shrinking, beneath her shadow, and yet, here was one who seemed unfazed, grounded, unflinching. A tiny crack formed in the wall she'd built around her heart, a crack named Jock's Calder, and the story was only beginning. Storm clouds rolled across the desert the next morning, and with them came trouble. Descended on the outskirts of town. Panic rippled through the streets until Tala stepped into their path. Towering like a warrior carved from thunder, she carried a massive spear, balanced easily in her hand, as though daring the outlaws to come closer. But even Tala couldn't hold off 10 men alone, not without backup. Jocks walked out beside her, not behind, not in her shadow, beside her. Tala looked down at him, surprised. "You don't even carry a rifle," she muttered. "I've got aim, patience, and someone worth standing beside." Her breath caught, only a heartbeat, but it was enough. The fight came fast. Steel flashed, hooves thundered, dust exploded. Tala fought like a legend, every movement powerful, precise. Together, they became something neither had expected: balanced. Her overwhelming strength paired with his quiet precision. Her fire matched by his calm. At one point, a rustler drew a hidden pistol and aimed at Tala's back. She didn't see it, but Jocks did. In one smooth motion, he stepped behind her, grabbed her arm, spun her out of the bullet's path, and threw his knife with perfect timing, disarming the attacker. Tala stared at him, stunned. No man had ever saved her. No man had ever been fast enough to save her. After the dust settled, the townsfolk cheered them both. But Tala stepped close, voice low. "You didn't hesitate," she said. "You didn't need saving," Jocks replied. "Just a partner, a partner." The word hit her harder than any enemy ever had. For years, she believed no man could handle a woman of her size, her strength, her fire. Yet here stood a cowboy who didn't try to control her, didn't try to tame her, didn't fear her. He simply admired her, matched her. That night, by the fire's glow, Tala finally spoke the truth she'd never dared say aloud. "I thought standing alone made me strong. But standing with someone who sees me, that might be stronger. Jock smiled beneath the brim of his hat. And I ain't going anywhere unless you tell me to. She didn't. Instead, for the first time in her life, Tala let someone stand at her side, not beneath her shadow, not behind her strength, beside her. And the legend of the 7 foot, proving that sometimes the strongest hearts are the ones brave enough to let someone in.